Good afternoon and welcome to our webinar on how to navigate Microsoft Business Central and explore role centers. My name is Greg Miles. I'm the Marketing Manager for ICEP's Technology Group, located outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and serving the entire Mid-Atlantic region and beyond. For 45 years, ICEPS has been helping distributors, manufacturers, and other small to mid-sized companies with various supply chain management and technology solutions. We are an experienced Microsoft Cloud solution provider offering several Microsoft technologies such as ERP, Power BI, Office, Teams, Defender, and Azure Cloud Computing. We specialize in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central as our only ERP solution that we represent for consulting, sales, licensing, training, and ongoing support. With me today and presenting is Emily Kennis, one of our Microsoft Dynamics Business Central consultants. Everyone is on mute. However, we'll have time at the end of the presentation to answer any of your questions. Also, we'll be recording this webinar and we'll make it available to everyone on request. I want to first start by directing your attention to the handout section where you can download the 2025 Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central Capabilities Guide. Now I'll pass the presentation over to Emily. Thanks, Emily.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily and I'm an implementation consultant here with ICEP's Technology Group. I want to start by thanking all of you for joining. Over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you how to move around Business Central quickly and shape your role center so that it feels like your workspace. The goal of this webinar is, by the end, you knowing how to find things fast, focus on what matters most, and fine-tune your homepage. So let's get started. Here's our agenda for the day. We're going to touch base on all of these things, the navigation basics, homepage layout tips, what is the Tell Me function, setting up global actions, bookmarking pages, working with lists and filters, Business Central Role Center overview, understanding each role center component, and how to switch and personalize role, optimizing Business Central for better efficiency. So, going on, here's our visualization for Leader for where we get started out of the box. With this being said, let's dive into our live environment and show you around. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little better. So this is your role center. It's your home base. And on the top of the page, you can see your navigation pane for areas like sales, finance, and purchasing. On the Role Center, you also have your Actions panel, which over here gives you shortcuts to create new records or jump to key reports. You can think of it as your command buttons for daily tasks. When you're in a list like customers or vendors, your Action panel gets richer. It doesn't just create new things, it will also bring in history, like ledger entries, statistics, and reports that are tied to that record. Going down, you can see cues and charts. These are some cues, and here are some charts out of the box. Your role center is essentially your cockpit. These cues are your warning lights, and they're going to appear these cues. And they're going to tell you what needs your attention right now, like tasks and cues, or sales quotes or purchase orders. The charts below are your gauges. They're going to give you visibility into trends like sales performance or cash flow. And together, these things can steer your day without having to leave your role center. Below you have some charts. Charts give you the pulse of the business. You don't need to export to Excel or run different reports. You can see the sales trends or cash balances the moment you sign in. And with that being said, your report inbox is a great way to set up scheduled reports to be ran at whatever frequency you choose to automatically be ran in the background and show up for you the day that you need it. But no matter where you are, you always have your consistent top bar over here, which are your global actions. The fastest way to get anywhere is the Tell Me function, which you can either click here or click Alt-Q. I'm just going to type in a customer list. And your Tell Me function is essentially your smart search bar. It's made to make less work for you, so you don't actually have to type in all the letters of what you're trying to search. Business Central does the work for you. So here I can see all of the customers, the pages and tasks and reports and analysis. And if I notice that I use some of these things, I can also bookmark it, and it'll go right back into my role center to be easily reachable for you. The global actions that I just mentioned on the top of the page follow you everywhere. You have your environment indicator to the left. Following is your Copilot. Copilot is your AI-driven assistant, which does a little bit more dirty work for you and can help research some things within certain pages. Following is the Tell Me function I just mentioned, and your notifications. Your notifications will show approvals and alerts. You also have your settings, which is where we'll switch roles and you can personalize. And your user menu is where you can switch companies or sign out. Think of all of these as your always available toolkit. So I'm going to search customers again. And I showed you how to bookmark anything that you seem necessary or use frequently. A tip for teams is show your employees how to bookmark their 3 most used pages. It's an instant time saver for them. I'm going to click into customers. Lists are where you'll live day to day. You can sort any column, use quick filters, or even open the filter pane and stack filters. When you've got a useful combo, you can also, a combo of filters, you can also save them so that every time you go into this list page, it'll automatically filter, or you'll have other views that you can switch on. You can also use Shift F3 to quickly go into your filters pane. You can also quickly filter right into a column by using filter to this value, which will filter all of the customer lists that have that contact name. And as I said, that you can save these too. So if I click this save button over here, I can rename this as to Robert Contact. And every time I go back into this list page, I can easily drill into this filter for reporting or any other financial needs that I need at a glance. So going on, many people within industries wear multiple hats, and this is where I think Business Central personally shines. The system is made to adapt with you. So no matter what hats that you wear or how many roles that you work in, you can easily switch roles to access whatever information that you need to keep things organized. I'm going to show you how to quickly switch over. If you click over into My Settings and into your role, here you'll have a list of all of the roles that you as a user have access to. So if you don't have access to a sales order processor, which I'm going to click into, it simply won't populate. But to show you how Business Central grows with you and adapts with you, we're going to switch over to the sales order processor so I can show you how that role center changes for you then. And another tip in here, if you're a new user and you've noticed some of these flags on the side over here giving you helpful hints, as you learn the system, you can come into your settings and go back into My Settings and turn on and off the teaching tips. Once you get more familiarized with the system, you can turn them off. But switching over to sales order processor, you can see as my role center is navigated more to the role that that user plays. So as you can see, there's sales orders. And once you get to your queues, you see all of your activities. You're ready to ship, delayed, returns, tasks that are open that are related directly to this role. We can also, I want to point out that while all of these numbers change for users depending on what their role entails, all of these numbers, no matter what role you're in, are all up-to-date numbers. So no matter what role you're in, everyone throughout the system gets the same up-to-date numbers regarding financials, inventory, vendors, all of it. All of your employees can also tune their workspace without having to worry about it affecting others. So how I would do that, I'm going to go back into Business Manager. And I'm going to personalize my page for you just to show you how that we can get that done. All right. Now that we're back in the Business Manager Role Center, I'm going to show you how easy it is to personalize your system to make it customized for you and your needs. So you can go right into your settings and click personalize. So for reference, I'm just going to pull up my PowerPoint so you can see where we started out. Before we didn't have the customers up here because we bookmarked them. So here in the PowerPoint, here's where we are before. And then back in our Business Central, if we come in and, 2 weeks from now, we decide that, I really don't need to see this statement of cash flows. Nothing within my role requires me to go into that on a day-to-day basis. As I go over these, you can see this arrow that comes to the side. If you click into them, you can hide whichever group that you're in. So if I'm going to hide this, but I think I really want to see my chart of accounts. Perfect. Scrolling down, this seems to just get in my way sometimes. I'm going to hide this too. I wouldn't necessarily do that unless your job title doesn't involve you seeing certain highlights at a glance. Sometimes these important insights will give you information about a customer that would steer a direction in another way. So I would avoid hiding this one. But going down to your activities, you can hide activities as a whole, or you can go in and hide certain things within your activities. So I don't scan any documents. And for my purchase orders, these are important to see. I'd like to see what purchase orders are open right now. And all of these queues are filtered lists. So these are all, not just all the purchase orders out there, these are just ongoing purchase orders or open sales quotes or invoices. I know that I don't have any intercompany use, so I'm going to hide that. I like moving this task up a little bit, and sometimes it takes a second. But I like that to be towards the center or top of my page, just so I can see any tasks that belong to me as soon as I wake up in the morning and log in. And then finally, I'm just going to go and, hide some of these favorite accounts that I have in here, just to clean up my role center. We'll hide this one too. And I personally enjoy that these are still showing before I press done so that I can see some options. If they're not showing available, you can also click into something and add the field if it isn't showing right away. There are more sections within these different sections that you can add into there to see important information. Okay. So going forward, we can see how our role center changed. We put the customer list up here. I took out another one up here, and I moved my pending tasks up front so I can make sure that I take care of them as soon as I get in through the day. I think it's important to keep my report inbox up top as well if I choose to have that showing, and I run different reports. That way I don't ever forget to, it always shines out at me. The whole point is just that everyone can tune their workspace to their needs without them having to worry about it affecting anyone else's day-to-day business needs. And as you notice, once I exited the page, it just overall felt cleaner and I didn't have to change it for anyone else. These are just quick wins that will compound daily to make less hunting, so fewer clicks and more focus on your actual job needs. But with that being said, we covered the navigation story. We mentioned the tell me function, your global actions, we bookmarked some things, and we dove into the list pages and showed you how we can easily filter pages and even save those filters. I mentioned our role center and how easily accessible it is to switch roles and personalize your role center to your given needs. The pattern through all of this, what I wanted to emphasize is that you can find what you need and keep it handy to focus your role center. But with that being said, I'm going to finish up the presentation and pass the mic over to Greg to ask any questions that you guys may have.
Thanks, Emily. Great presentation. Now's your time. Anyone to ask a question, just type your question into the question box. Your first question here, Emily, is how many role centers are there, and can we create our own or just modify existing role centers?
Okay, so Business Central comes equipped with many different roles out of the box. You can't necessarily create your own, but you can copy one of the ones that Microsoft has already created for you and personalize that role while giving it restrictions so that that role can only access certain documents or so that it is geared to that user specific.
Okay, great. Next question is, how often is Microsoft Business Central updated?
Okay, that's a good question. Business Central follows a pretty predictable update schedule, so customers always get newer features without needing full re-implementation. So Microsoft has, Business Central has two major updates a year, Wave 1 and Wave 2, which is normally around April and October. And those are when it features new enhancements and bigger changes. If you're talking about certain sales transactions throughout the system, it is always being updated. So that's the best part about Business Central. It's all live data. So anything that you put in is automatically put in the system for everyone to see. But Microsoft also sends out minor updates as frequently as they need. Those are for more like bug fixes or performance improvements, just small feature tweaks.
Okay, great. Next question here is there any sort of mobile app, and is the functionality identical to the web version?
So yes, it is. This is actually a pretty common question. It's designed to give you nearly the same functionality as the browser client, but there are some differences. So you'll see, your role center and profiles, navigation's pretty much the same, and you can still create sales orders and purchase invoices. Your layout is a little bit more different because it's optimized inevitably for smaller screens. So some of the tiles and lists might appear stacked instead of side by side where you would see it on the web page on your desktop.
Okay, great. I noticed there was Copilot in Business Central. Are there plans to expand AI in Business Central?
Yes. Copilot is growing every day. Within the most recent waves that have come out with updates, we have seen our sales order agent and purchase order agent become available while they're fixing those tweaks within it. It is a wonderful component within Business Central to eliminate a lot of the manual work that we are doing. Copilot is integrated throughout many pages within Business Central to eliminate a lot of those tasks already, but Microsoft is diving even further into that to make your job even easier through time.
Hey, while we're waiting for maybe another question here, I just want to thank everyone for joining today. Our contact information is here. I will be sending a follow-up email to everyone if you would like a recording of this webinar. That may be it for questions. So I just want to thank everyone again. Thank you, Emily, so much for presenting. Again, we'll be sending out a follow-up email. And if you have any further questions, just let us know. Thank you again, everyone. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, everyone.